cue you, where you can take a chance.
Right, exactly.
You know, and you
Take a
can
risk.
try.
Exactly, yeah.
And then that's what I say to people when they're boxing, when they're first learning, and I'll be saying to them, come on, take a chance. Go ahead, just take a
Right,
chance.
exactly.
Because that's not how boxing coaches talk historically.
Right.
That's just not how they do it.
Right.
And
Yeah. Well, that's a good practice that you have in doing that and the way you teach that, and I can see that in your personality and just in conversating with you. Now you have both male and female students, which I
That's
find
right.
very interesting, because I think most people, when they associate boxing and this type of sport, they think males.
I've taught more
What's the
women.
difference between, is there a difference between how you would train and
No,
work with a
they
female
all learn
as opposed to
exactly.
male?
They learn exactly the same thing. It's just that when you're teaching a female, it's a lot easier, paradoxically, because females
Well,
come
they're
to
more
you.
mature than us.
No, it's not that.
No,
It's just that. It's just that they're not socialized to think they're tough, and so when they come to learn, then they just do what you show them. Dudes, you have to give it all this silly macho stuff, mannerisms that they had before they walked in the door.
Right.
And so a female just does what you show her. Much easier to teach.
Oh, okay.
Much easier. And I remember listening to Julius Erving years ago talking about basketball. He said, if you want to see somebody play basketball, watch females play basketball, because they play, none of this above the rim stuff, they just play the game.
Right.
And females are much easier to teach, and I've taught more females, more than 700, which
Wow.
is, you know, probably about as many as all of them put together that I've
Right.
ever taught. I've taught a lot of, because I do it for a living. It's not
Absolutely.
a hobby where I work in the gas station the day, at night I go to the boxing gym for a couple hours a week to work with some
Right.
kids.
This is your life.
That's
Absolutely.
right. And so I, you know, but yeah, I've trained, you know, just
Both men and females.
men
Now,
and females, but very shy women. And I've trained a number of karate black belts who were female,
Right.
who came to me as karate belts, who wanted to learn how to really rumble.
So, what is the hardest thing to teach someone or train someone in fight game?
The hardest thing to teach anybody about fighting, period, is whether you punch back or not, your opponent will punch you. That is the hardest thing to teach a person. You can say that to them. I have it written up on my blackboard. And sometimes the first time a person spars, and I tell people that before they ever get to that day. The first time people spar, I will stop the sparring and have that person read that out loud.
Really?
That's right. Because they've seen it for months.
Right.
And now all of a sudden they're in that situation. And I told them that I'll probably stop the sparring the first time.
Right.
And I have to read that. And they understand. They turn it, they understand. That's what I told them
That's
was
what
going to
you
happen.
told them, right? Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing to teach people.
Right. Now,
know?
let me ask you this, and you alluded to it to some degree, talking about the male and female, and how the difference between them coming in the door and training them. But as far as characteristics are concerned, is there a certain person that would come to you or come for training that is more prone to adapting to your style of training or to boxing in general? Is there
Sure, I mean, if you know,
like a tough guy come in the door?
well,
or something
there's
like
nobody
that?
tough out here, but like football players are excellent. I've trained a number of them, and they're because of the hitting aspect, they're easy to make into good fighters. Trained a couple of rugby players. I got one now who's really good. Those type of people that are used to the contact, they're real good. As far as coordination, basketball players, people that play basketball,
Right.
you know, they're easy to teach
Yeah.
in terms of, you know, because you have to be well coordinated.
Absolutely.
Because you're moving around and all these funny angles.
Right. Do
But,
you have a certain age group that you deal with? Or?
I started 6 years old and I
Wow.
trained as old as 86. I started each of my own children.
So there's
at-
actually a little life for me, and
I've trained a lot of people, but actually you're like about 30% of the people I train in your age group. You know,
Oh,
30%, yeah.
Well, we won't say my age group, but
Well,
you mean it's as far as my height and physicality?
mature and stuff. I mean, it's about
Right.
30%. Yeah,
Really?
so yeah, it's a good portion. Yeah.
Cool. Well, why don't we do this? Because, and I really want to pick your brains a little bit about some of the more, and I know you're in this category as well. Some of the legendary fighters of our time. You know, speaking like the Muhammad Ali's and the Joe Frazier's and the Tommy Hearns and some of those guys. I just want to get your opinion on that. Before we do that, if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of show the folks out there a little bit more about the school here.
Okay.
And maybe go hit the bag a little bit. And I believe you got some students back there to work.
Yeah, we're going to work with some of them. We're going to watch them. They're going to take a little time and do a little different levels of sparring.
That's good. Yeah. Why don't we do that? And then I want to talk to you a little bit more. So, folks, we're going to move to the bag room, and we'll be back, and well, we'll see you on the other side.
All right, now the heavy bag is the most important piece of equipment for a boxer. You know, you can not have sparring, but certainly at the amateur level and the lower pro level, if you at least have a heavy bag, then you can at least, it's better to have sparring because it's for you know, real kind of focus and stuff. But you do about, this builds about 10 different skills, patience and punching power. You move around the bag 360 degrees and you change direction so it works on your foot movement, and also teaches you to use the whole ring. Just don't stand in front of a guy. Now you treat this like a person though, and you start off by giving it a hockey check, banging it with your shoulder to get it moving. You don't want to push it because that's a bad habit. You treat this like a person. If you did that with a person, you'd get hit in the head, all right? Your head's open. And so you're going to start off by let it move. Now you're only going to punch it right there at that 45-degree angle, because you want the bag to move on a pivot, and you make it pivot. All right. And you change direction every so often. You don't have to punch every second. 45-degree angle. See, you punch it on those angles. And see how it maintains the pivot? And you're boxing it just like it's a person. And when you stop it, you bear hug it and slide your arms up, because what you're doing is you're practicing when the guy gets you in the clinch, you want to lift his armpits, because otherwise he'll hit you in the head. And he will do that.
Okay, so we're with Evan Crenshaw. I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And as you can see, this guy's pretty fit here. He's been working out here at the Pioneer Valley Boxing School here, and he's going to give us a demonstration. But before you do, how has this been working out for you?
They just coming to the gym in general?
Absolutely, and doing your weight
It's definitely a unique sporting experience.
Right.
It's more demanding than anything else I've done. I've done maybe 4 to 5 competitive sports, and this is definitely the most demanding.
Right.
Yeah, overall body experience.
Right. And I was going to ask you about Coach Bumpus there, but I'll let you off the hook for that right now.
All right.
But so you do your thing and show the folks out there how you train.
Sure.
I'm going to get out your way.
We call this a matchbox, and these are the best type of rings to learn how to fight. This is 10 by 10s, exactly 1/4 the size of a traditional 20 by 20 foot ring. The 20 by 20 foot ring, it makes a person be a runner, or they hit and hold a lot. You got to fight when you're in a matchbox ring, and you have to have a lot of defensive skills because you don't have anywhere to go. So you have to have a lot of slipping and blocking and weaving, and you have to be really good. You're about to see it. You know, you got to have skills in a matchbox. And then when you find yourself in the bigger ring, more traditional ring, the other guy's like, what's this guy's problem? He's all over me. Because you're used to fighting the person and not hitting and holding and dancing around. Keep your right hand up well. Do that right hand more. Again. Do that right hand. That's right. Go the right hand. That's right. Punch hard, Ken. Fight him. That's right. That's nice moving around, Chris. That's smart. There you go. That's right. That's right. That's right. Block. Keep the right hand up. That's right. Nice block. You gotta keep the right hand. Excellent. That's what.
Nice job. Good job, guys. There you go, folks. You've seen it. Some great action going on here at the Pioneer Valley Boxing School. From boxing to weight training. I think I'm sold on this. I'm coming in. So, we're getting ready to wrap up, but we're going to finish talking to Coach Jada about some more boxing things. I have some questions for him, and then we'll end the show. Welcome back. We're at the Pioneer Valley Boxing School with Coach Jada Bumpus, and I got a couple of more questions I want to ask you. We just thank you for this wonderful tour of your boxing school, and I'm sure the folks out there got some good knowledge of what actually happens and goes on here. What's your opinion on the state of boxing right now? Because it is a new generation, it's a new era.
Well, and I know and Floyd Mayweather's supposed to be promoting along with 50 Cent. But they're just repeating the same thing that Bob Arum and Don King and them cats have done.
Right.
And it's not good. You know, I teach 95% of the people I teach, they're doing it just for the skills, and they have the same skills as a professional fighter. Because
Absolutely.
that's what I teach them to be. But most of them don't compete. A lot of them have, you know, careers. Surgeons to janitors I've trained, so they have careers already.
Absolutely.
But they can do it. They can rumble.
Right.
And because I don't just teach them how to box, I teach them how to fight. Because I was a legendary bouncer in Philly.
Okay.
And you know, and I fought in the so-called red light district at 13th and Market.
Right.
I bounced out of there. But in those days, you could knock people out, and the police would help you carry them out.
Right.
But starting in the 80s, they started bringing cases against them. In the 90s, they were locking them up.
Right.
But when
You
I was
can't
a
do
bouncer,
that anymore.
when I was a bouncer, it was different.
Right.
You tell a guy
Exactly.
one time, because
Right.
there ain't gonna be no argument.
Right.
Lay him out, drag him out.
There you go.
But
and let me just tell the folks out there, if you don't believe that this guy, I'm sure you can, but some of the photos in this place, I would encourage you to come by the Pioneer Valley Boxing School here. Some of the pictures on this wall is unbelievable. He's got a community wall of pictures, famous folks, and then folks like yourself, where if you look at him, you can tell he was a bouncer back in the day. And what is the address here? The physical
this is
address.
518 Pleasant Street.
518
in
Pleasant
Northampton,
Street,
Massachusetts.
right downtown Northampton here. Again, I encourage you to come. Go on to the website. It is www.westernmassboxing.com. westernmassboxing.com. If you want to get yourself a little more fit or do a little something different than your normal going to the gym, this is the place to come. I really want to